Now we're on part 2. We had some technical difficulties there for a minute, but I like Auburn this week too. I like Nick Marshall. I don't know about that backup quarterback. I didn't really watch that game, but I think Nick Marshall is a quarterback who can run that offense very good like he did last year, and I think if he has a great year, Auburn will. So I think Auburn does just as good as him this year, and I have Auburn winning that game by 28. Now to number 6 ranked Georgia. They have a bye after coming off a win against Clemson last week.
Yeah, go Dogs. I thought Georgia looked very impressive last week. Actually, that's one of those games I thought Georgia played its best football. I was really impressed how they ran the football. I thought Todd Gurley, as we mentioned, just dominated the game, and then they ran Chubb. I thought he played well too. I think they're going to be a really good 1-2 punch. They throw with the Sony kids, Michelle in. Hudson Mason just doesn't need to mess it up, basically. But I was very impressed with Georgia. We'll see what they do against South Carolina next week. I'm very interested to see them go against South Carolina.
Yeah, I like the bye for them. I think this gives them more time to prepare for that South Carolina team, which I think Steve Spurrier was a little butthurt about being embarrassed on a national stage last week. But Georgia looked good last week against Clemson. They ran the ball very good. Hudson Mason did a good job in the first half of really spreading out that Clemson defense, setting up the run for later in the second half. I like how Georgia didn't really use Gurley all that much in the first half, and they kind of let all the backs they had touch the ball. That way they had Gurley in the second half to kind of close the game out like he did. But now we're moving on to number 8 ranked Ohio State. They'll be hosting Virginia Tech.
You know, I really want to pick Virginia Tech in this game, but I can't because Virginia Tech doesn't play very well on the road. They never play well on the road against anybody of a formidable competition. I'm not high on Ohio State either. I really am torn on. I'm not high on either one of these teams. But I'm going to go with Ohio State with the win here because it is at Ohio State. I think they come out ready to play. I think they're going to be playing very hard. I don't think that they were very happy with the way they played against Navy last week. I got Ohio State in this game.
I got Virginia Tech in this game. Ohio State didn't impress me at all against Navy. They should have beat them by a good 5-6 touchdowns, and they won by 17. I know they lost Braxton Miller, which was their Heisman-type guy, their leader, but I think Virginia Tech comes away with an upset this week and beats Ohio State at the Horseshoe.
So that's an upset, man. That's an upset, and we got some Ohio State Ohio State fans around this town. So I hope they watch this game and see how you disrespecting them right now.
Hey, I hope they do.
Okay,
too.
okay.
Now we're number 9, Texas A&M. They'll be hosting Lamar.
Where's Lamar? I'm not quite. Do we know where Lamar is? That in Texas, Louisiana, Texas? No disrespect to Lamar, but I've never heard of you. That being said, I think Texas A&M might put up 60-something points on this team. Texas A&M is scary. If they're clicking the way they were against South Carolina, the starters won't be in there in the second half.
I agree. I think Texas A&M wins this game big. I think Kenny Hill has another great game that just boosts his Heisman status towards the end of the year. But Texas A&M, I think right now has got a couple of cakewalks until they really get into their SEC schedule, and I think they come out with this one easily and win by 35. Now number 10th ranked Baylor. They'll be hosting Northwestern State.
Northwestern State. Here we go, guys. This week is a lot of blowouts, and this is going to be another blowout by Baylor. I think Baylor takes care of Northwestern State. It's not going to be close. Whatever the spread is in this game, I think they cover.
Yeah, I think Bryce Petty has this offense clicking, and I think them two, they have a lot of cakewalks until they get into their Big 12 schedule. So I got Baylor winning this one by 28. Now number 11th ranked UCLA, they'll be hosting Memphis.
Let's talk about UCLA. Last week I picked Virginia to beat UCLA. It didn't come to fruition, but UCLA had to have 3 defensive touchdowns to beat a very mediocre, young Virginia team. UCLA fans, if you're watching in California right now, you're probably not getting a lot of sleep right now because y'all have a long way to go. All these media people are putting you guys on the national stage because they love a West Coast team for some reason. They want them to be good, and you're not. You're not good yet. You got a lot of work to do. If Memphis comes into your house this week and gives you a game, I don't know what I'm going to say next week. I'm probably going to pick against you, but I am going to say you're going to beat Memphis. You're going to beat Memphis.
I think they beat Memphis too, and they look horrible against Virginia. Their offense was. I thought Brett Hundley was going to lead that offense, score 40, 50 points. They scored one touchdown. One.
Yes, and I called the upset.
You did.
I called the upset. It didn't happen, but it was pretty close.
It was close.
Pretty close.
It came down to that last drive.
Yeah.
But I got UCLA winning this one by 28. Now, number 12th ranked LSU, they'll be hosting Sam Houston State.
You know, I think Sam Houston State's going to come out and play LSU. I think Sam Houston State's got some talented players on their team. Been doing a little research on Sam Houston State. LSU's going to win the game. Don't get me wrong, but I think Sam Houston State will play them hard. LSU will pull away in the second half. I got LSU, but I think Sam Houston State's going to play hard this week.
I like LSU. Last week they were down, I think by 17 in the third quarter to Wisconsin. They came back and won that game. And you were right. Les Miles, one special teams play, got them back in that game, gave them that momentum.
They won a game like they always win a game. Somehow, it's amazing. Their out-of-conference record since 2002. They're undefeated out of conference. Can you believe that? I mean, that's pretty amazing.
That is.
Yeah.
I think they stay undefeated after this week.
I think they stay.
I think they win this game by 24. Now on number 13th ranked Stanford, they will be hosting number 14th ranked USC.
I think this is going to be the closest game of the week, actually. I think a lot of people think Michigan State, Oregon. I don't think that's going to be as close as what people think it is. I think this is going to be a very, very tight game. I'm going to go with Stanford in this one because it's at Stanford, and I just believe that their defense and them being able to control the line of scrimmage is going to put them over the top. I got Stanford.
I like Stanford too, and I like what David Shaw's been doing out there with Stanford and keeping them winning, even after they said he wouldn't after Andrew Luck left, and he's still putting up 10, 11-win seasons. I like Stanford in this game against USC because USC's still having those distractions out there with Josh Shaw and their quarterback and their running back who got cut. And I just don't think USC's all that great. I never have. But I got Stanford win this game by 10. Now number 15th ranked Ole Miss, they'll be at Vandy.
I know you like Ole Miss. I know you do. And Vandy got embarrassed last week. Vandy fans, are you missing your coach that bad? You got beat by Temple pretty handedly last week. Temple.
At home.
At home.
At home.
So I'm going to have to go with Ole Miss in this game. I think they cover the spread until Vandy shows me something else. I'm going Ole Miss by 21.
I like Ole Miss in this game too. I think Bo Wallace, he had a rough start to last week's game against Boise State, but I believe he comes out and gets that offense rolling, and I think Ole Miss wins this game handedly. And remember, Ole Miss in the year. They're my
Mississippi State.
Sleeper this
Sorry,
year.
Mississippi State. Okay, here we go.
Now number 16th ranked Notre Dame, they'll be hosting Michigan.
This is a rivalry game. This is a tough game to pick here for me. I want to say Notre Dame in this game. Golston came back, played very strong. It's at Notre Dame. I'm going with the upset here. This is my upset of the week. Rivalry games, you just never know what's going to happen. I'm going to say Michigan's going to win this game. They're fighting for their lives. The coach is fighting for his life. I'm going with Michigan in the upset.
Well, all right. I don't think Michigan can do it against this Notre Dame team. I think Everett Golston keeps this offense rolling. I think they love having him back. I think he had a total of 5 touchdowns last year. I think last week, 2 rushing, I think 3 passing. I think he continues to run that offense very fluidly, and I think Notre Dame wins this game by 10. Now, number 17th ranked Arizona State. They'll be at New Mexico.
Blowout. I think Arizona State blows out New Mexico State. I don't think it's close. I don't even know if it's really worth talking about this game. Another blowout.
I think so too. I think Arizona wins this game easily by 28. Now, number 18th ranked Wisconsin. They'll be hosting Western Illinois.
Poor Western Illinois. Wisconsin is upset about the way they lost to LSU. They had that game won, and they lost it. They lost it, and they're going to be mad, and Western Illinois is going to be in for it. Wisconsin blows them out.
I think so too. I think that Wisconsin coach and the Wisconsin players they're pretty pissed off after giving that game back to LSU.
I agree.
And I think Wisconsin wins this one easily by 5 touchdowns. Now, number 19th ranked Nebraska. They'll be hosting
McNeese State out there in Louisiana.
Oh, Louisiana.
Yep. We got Nebraska, and we both concur Nebraska going to win this one big.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Yep.
Now, number 20th ranked Kansas State. They'll be at Iowa State.
You know, Iowa State they play well at home. But I'm going to go with Kansas State in this game. I think they cover the spread. Kansas State has a lot of JUCO talent. I'm still high on their coach. I think their coach is one of the best coaches in the nation. I don't think they have a letdown here. They're supposed to win, and they will win. They will cover the spread. I think they win by 2 touchdowns.
I think Kansas State, they pull it out, but I think it's a close one. Iowa State plays great at home. They've come up with some great upsets the past couple of years. Cyclone.
Yep.
They find a way to win at home, but I don't think this week they will. I think Kansas State wins this one in a close one by 6. Now, number 21 ranked South Carolina. They'll be hosting East Carolina.
Ooh, the Gamecocks. I could see this game going either way. We're going to see how good South Carolina is this week. I want to say that they're going to cover this spread. Spread 16.5. I'm going to say they cover. I do also think they're going to be upset from their last performance. Spurrier, Spurrier's doing his thing in the locker room and practice right now, getting these guys ready to play. But I tell you what, if East Carolina comes out and plays them a game, Gamecock Nation, you need to be worried. But I got South Carolina covering the spread here.
I think South Carolina's going to be hitting hard, and Spurrier's going to have them guys ready for this game. And he's still looking. I think he's looking ahead to that Georgia game, but I think he still has his guys ready for this game, and I think South Carolina wins this one by 24. Now, number 22 ranked North Carolina. They'll be hosting San Diego State.
San Diego State. North Carolina, I'm not very high on. I don't think that they're really worth this ranking that they have. You know what? I got San Diego State covering the spread. The spread is 15.5. I think this is a touchdown or less game.
I agree with you. North Carolina, I think they get overhyped every year, and everybody ranks them high, and then at the end of the year they're still down there with the bottom feeders, you could say. I don't think North Carolina covers the spread either. I think it's a really close game between the two of them. I have North Carolina win by 10. Now, number 23rd ranked Clemson. They'll be hosting South Carolina State.
Another blowout, guys. Clemson fans probably arrive about at the end of the first quarter, and you're probably going to leave at halftime and go tailgate. Maybe go to a frat party, because this is going to be a straight blowout. Clemson is going to be fighting mad, and South Carolina State's going to get the brunt of it. Whatever the spread here is going to be covered by Clemson.
Clemson, last week, their defense did not impress me like everybody talked about how good they were this year compared to last year. I didn't think they were any better at all. I think Vic Beasley played really good, but I don't think the rest of that defense did at all. They definitely couldn't stop Todd Gurley, but not many teams can. He's arguably the best running back in the nation. But Clemson's also one of them teams that needs to figure out that quarterback situation. I think they both put together 2 scoring drives I think what's Stout? Stout is his name.
Stout. Yeah.
Stout put together 2, and then Watson put together 1. But
I think Watson is the most talented of the 2. I know he's a freshman, and head coaches are really leery about playing freshmen too soon. But I think you're going to see this Watson kid get more and more playing time as the season goes on. It's obvious he's the most talented. I think he gives them the biggest spark. I think he gives them the most options on offense. I think the Watson kid out of Gainesville, Georgia, is going to end up being a starter within the next 3 or 4 games.
I think so too. I think his arm is really impressive, and I think he has the mobility that kind of like a Taj Boyd type guy, strong arm, can get you the first down from running the football. I think he does take over the starting job in 3 to 4 weeks, but Clemson needs to find their starter for them to get back to that top level they were at last year.
Yeah.
But they win this game easily by 24. Now number 24th ranked Missouri. They'll be at Toledo.
Whew. This is only a 3.5 point spread. This really surprised me. Either they're not giving a lot of love to Missouri, or they're giving a lot to Toledo. I got to say Missouri's going to cover this spread of 3.5. I'm going to say Missouri covers by at least a touchdown in this game.
I think so too. I think Missouri's just going to be, SEC, they'll be bigger and faster. And I think that really helps them in this game against Toledo. Toledo's always been a big offensive game. They spread out the field against you, passing a lot, but I think Missouri's just bigger and faster, and they cover the spread too. I think they win by 10. Now number 25th ranked Louisville. They'll be hosting Murray State.
Murray State, the Shockers, the Murray State Shockers. No,
Pacers, I think.
I take that back.
Pacers or Racers.
Anyway, Louisville. Let's get to Louisville. I thought Louisville looked pretty good against Miami last week. I think Louisville is probably going to be the second best team in the ACC this year. I think they're going to give the best test to Florida State later on in the year. That Thursday night game at Louisville. I liked a lot of things that they did. And I got Louisville covering the spread here. I just wanted to put a little plug in for Louisville. I think Louisville's got the capability of being a pretty darn good team come the end of the year.
They looked pretty good against Miami. I don't think that defense looked all that great. It did pretty good last year until they played good offenses, and I think that's how they're going to be this year. They're going to dominate teams they should, and I think when they play good offenses, they're just not going to show up. I don't really like Louisville this year, but I like them in this game against Murray State, winning by 21. All right.
Appreciate it, guys. Good luck with your picks this week.
See you next week.